Welcome to FailCraft, the podcast where we dive into the messy, real side of success and explore how setbacks become the stepping stones for growth and clarity. I'm your host, Ezekiel Iferia, and today's guest is Eric D. Coonrod, a 20-year veteran investment banker who has been the architect behind over 100 mergers, acquisitions, and capital transactions. Having successfully sold his own investment bank and now running Coonrod Co. He knows the high-stakes journey of selling a business better than most, but his expertise isn't just about maximizing value, it's about navigating the psychological landmines. He is here to talk about the profound failures in preparation, the operational mistakes and emotional missteps that cause life-changing deals to fall apart, and how founders can apply the preparation principle to protect their legacy and secure the exit they deserve. Eric, it's a pleasure to welcome you to FailCraft. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, Ezekiel. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
Great to have you here. So let's dive in, Eric. Uh, you've been a part of over 100 transactions. Like you write that the preparation principle is about demystifying the process of offering guidance on both the business operations and the psychological readiness. So can you share a specific story of a deal you saw collapse or almost collapse, not because of the numbers, but because of an operational or psychological failure on the founder's side? And what was the avoidable mistake that cost them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was selling a business and they were in the food space. They were in the frozen food space and they were branded. And they had a very good company. They had good financials and they had a great product. And they were lucky enough to be able to be placed in some high-end stores like Target, Whole Foods, Costco. And then when we went to sell the business, everything was going great. And we found out that the owner, the CEO, didn't renew the trademarks. So he was selling a business with a brand and he forgot to re up the trademark. So he was selling something he didn't actually own. He was using a trademark for a business where he didn't own the brand anymore. And that was a problem.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Eric. So, you talk about founders pouring their heart into a business. So, when a founder is asked to sell that business, it's often an emotional breakup. So, how do you coach a founder through that psychological readiness so that their emotions don't derail the final stages of the deal?
It's a very good question. And it happens every time. Selling your business is a very long process. You're trying to run your business as well as putting another 20 or 30 hours a week trying to sell your business. So emotions run high. And I've had, I would say, 7 out of 10 times when I am about to sell my business, I'm selling someone's business, they want to quit. At the 11th hour, they say, I'm out. I'm done. I can't take this anymore. And this is just too much. The lawyers don't stop asking questions. The accountants don't stop asking questions. I can't do this anymore. So I will tell them, take a step back, go get a nice glass of tea or a glass of wine, whatever it is you do. Let's have a nice, calm conversation, and let's go back to why we're here. Why do we want to sell in the first place? Why do we put the last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 months, all the work here to quit now? If you truly want to step back and not sell the business, that's fine. We'll hold off on it. But if you're just tired or just exhausted from the process, I calm them down. I have them refocus on why we're here, and I tell them we'll get through this together, and we'll sell your business and we'll be successful. Happens
All
every
right.
time, almost time in a deal.
Okay. Okay. So, let's talk about the timing mistake. When do you know it's the right time to sell? Can you give us an example, of a founder who tried to sell too early or waited too late, and what was the high cost of that poor timing?
Yes, that's a great question. So it's the perfect. There's never a perfect time to sell. So I tell my clients in far in advance, if I can, let's figure out what your near term goals are and what your long term goals are. and let's craft a plan to try to do the best to meet both. So picking the time to sell is difficult, but I can give you an example of a company that was doing fantastically well in the beverage space. They had a brand, a very good brand, and this is about 10, 12 years ago when functional beverage was at its height, right? They were doing great. They had a stronghold in a certain category in the market, but and I told them they should probably sell. They were going up, they were having, 15, 20, 25%, 35% increase in sales every year. And they were quite profitable too. For a beverage business, that's rare. So we talked about selling, and they said, no, I'm going to sell one more year, and I'm going to sell the next year. And by the time they sold, their sales were declining because there were many, many more beverage brands in the market that were similar to theirs or better. So while they were a first mover in this market and they were a major player, the market became crowded. Their sales went down, and they probably left 20 or $30 million on the table by waiting too long to sell.
All right. Most founders believe that their business is perfect. So what's the single most common, easily overlooked failure in a business's operation or financials, like a profit leak that tanks a founder's valuation during due diligence?
Financials not being in order happens quite a bit. So that's the biggest thing. If you're going to go, as I write in my book right here, if you want to sell the business, you can never prepare too early, and you must have your financials in order. Audited financials are fantastic. Not many people do that in the lower middle market. That's okay, but certainly get your financials reviewed by an outside accounting firm, because if you do internal financials and you don't have someone review it, and you're not very good or not good at keeping up to date every month with how being very strict in your financial profile and putting all your financials together, oftentimes you may be overstating revenue or overstating EBITDA, understating costs. And when you sell a business, the buyer is going to hire a very good accounting firm to go through your numbers in depth, and they're going to find mistakes. If there's mistakes in there, they're going to find it. And often that's their job, to find mistakes to lower the valuation. And if your financials are not in order and you go through diligence and they find mistakes, let's say you were saying that you were a $45 million business and you were doing 10 of EBITDA. And during diligence, the buyer finds out, no, your revenue might be 45 million, like you say, but your EBITDA is not 10, it's 6 or 7. That will kill a deal. It'll certainly dramatically reduce valuation. And then when they find that problem, they think there are other problems as well. Well, I found this problem. I better keep digging deeper and deeper because I'm probably going to find more problems. So I would say the biggest thing you can do, you have to have your financials in order. It's imperative to sell your business.
Okay. So Eric, you sold your investment bank, Integral Capital Advisors. So that must have been a unique experience, being the client and the banker at the same time. So, did you discover any new vulnerabilities or emotional resistance when you were the one standing in the founder's shoes?
I did. I did. I was surprised at how emotional it was and how much I didn't want to sell it. When I was made a good offer with a very good firm and I had a chance to go work with that firm, it was a life-changing event, I could say, and I didn't want to sell the business. And I almost didn't. If it weren't for my wife sitting me down, saying, telling me why we should sell the business because it was all these great things, I wouldn't have sold it if it weren't for her. And so she was my banker. She was my soundboard. She was my advisor. Where she sat me down and talked about all the reasons why we decided to sell the bank in the first place. And she was right, and she calmed me down, and we ended up selling it, and it was a good transaction for both buyer and seller. But I was very surprised at how much I didn't want to sell it at the end. I felt like I was selling it too soon.
Hmm. All right. So let's talk about the legacy principle. You emphasize protecting the founder's legacy. So, what does it look like when a founder fails to protect their legacy during a sale? And what's the key non-financial principle they need to prioritize to avoid that regret?
Protecting your legacy, that's very important. Because again, if you founded the business and you're the one that's, you set the culture, when you sell your business to someone else, if you sell 100% or even if you sell 75% to a private equity firm, you're no longer in control. So it's very difficult to maintain the legacy if you're out of control post sale. So it's very important to know who you're selling to. If purchase price, the biggest, most highest valuation is all you care about, then you can sell it. It doesn't make a difference. But if you want to sell your business for a good price, but also make sure that your culture is maintained, your employees are not fired, it's very important to do your underwriting of the buyer. When you're in the sell process, the buyer is asking you a lot of questions about your company. Well, as a seller, I advise my clients, if you care about your legacy, you care about the culture, you care about your employees, then you have to ask them a lot of questions too. What do you intend to do with my business? Do you intend to keep running it like I am? Do you intend to keep my staff? Are you going to fire my staff? And if it's a private equity firm, what I recommend too is that if they're going to buy 75% and you roll 25%, then you're going to work with them. I have my clients talk to the private equity firm and I tell them, give me at least access to 3 companies you purchased. And I want to talk to the CEOs of the companies you purchased so that my client can talk to the CEO and they can say, how did this private equity firm work? Once they purchased you, were they a good actor? Were they a bad actor? Did they do what they said they were going to do? So the best thing I can say is to maintain your legacy. Make sure you know who you're selling your business to and you do your diligence on them just like they're doing on you.
All right, that was a really great piece of advice, Eric. So, for the founder listening right now who plans to sell in the next, say, 5 years and is still operating in the business instead of on the business. So, what's the first non negotiable step they need to take today to start applying the preparation principle?
You have to put a team in place now. It's never too early to plan for your sale. And I also coach business owners who are entrepreneurs who are starting their business. And I tell them when you're starting your business, you should start planning for a sale day one. Maybe it's not for 5 years, maybe it's not for 7 years, but you should plan for a sale from day one and always keep to that plan. It's going to alter a bit. It's going to move. Plan for it on day one. Figure out where you want to go in year 3, in year 5, in year 7, but put yourself around a good team. Preparation principle. Doctors don't operate on themselves. They hire other doctors to operate on them. Same with selling your business. Don't sell it yourself. Have a good investment banker, have a good M&A attorney, have a good tax advisor, have a good wealth manager, and a good accountant. You need to surround yourself with experienced advisors who know the space, and they can help you save millions, tens of millions of dollars if you properly prepare in advance and you get all your ducks in a row before you sell. It's very important. Very important.
So, Eric, I have a personal question for you. So, after 2 decades in the unforgiving world of investment banking, what does being successful truly mean to you now?
Well, that's a good question. You're the first person to ask me that question.
Oh, wow.
True, that's a great question. What I've realized, and just recently, in the last couple of years, what true success to me is knowing that I have taken care of my clients and I have given them the best advice possible, and I have helped them sell their business successfully. Where not only did they get a good purchase price, but they got a good buyer who took care of their employees, didn't fire everybody, who kept producing a great product or service like they did. It's very important to me to. I'm working with people. People are my clients. Human beings are my clients and a lot of emotions. So I work very hard to make sure that when they decide to sell, that I am there every step of the way, making sure that we can get through all the pitfalls and all the ups and downs. And then when they sell, they look back and say, I'm very, very glad I hired Eric Coonrod and his team because he did exactly what he said he was going to do. And he helped me sell my business successfully. And I feel good about it. I want them to feel very good about the process after the sale and feel good about my service along with my team service.
Okay, Eric, this has been a masterclass in exit planning. So, finally, for our listeners who want to learn more from you or download the preparation principle and perhaps also go learn more about Conrad and Co. So, where's the best place for them to go connect and follow you?
That's great. The preparation principle is on Amazon right now. You can buy the book there. Coonrod Co is it's my email address is Eric at ECOONRODCO.com. You can reach me there. And you can also I've got a website that has a lot of my deals and a lot of the services that I offer. Again, that's ecoonrodco.com. Ecoonrodco.com is the website. And you can find me there. And if in my cell phone number, I'll give that out too, is 310-995-8579. And that's how you can get a hold of me.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing that. And thank you very much for taking the time to come on the show to share great insights with our audience. It's been a true privilege to have this conversation with you, sir.
Thank you for your time, Ezekiel. I've enjoyed the conversation.